Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking about Tower of Fantasy. As you guys may know, when Tower of Fantasy first came out, I made quite a bit of content about it, and I see a lot of you guys joined the channel and started following me because of Tower of Fantasy, and since then I've had people slowly reaching out to me over time, and I had to explain it to them. But as the days, weeks went past, more and more people started asking like, hey man, are you still wanting to make more content for this game? What's up? What's going on? Have you quit Tower of Fantasy? That's the one I get most. Like, have you quit Tower of Fantasy? And hopefully right now you see on screen, I have the most recent character, Lynn. I've been waiting for her. I've talked about her somewhat in the past, and you guys know she's a character that has been wildly anticipated for. And of course, I'm not gonna skip her and just not get her. But today in this video, I just want to come clean with everybody, be honest with you guys, because this is the first time I essentially covered a different game apart from Genshin, and it does feel bad to have to make a video like this and have people be concerned of my current situation with the game, right? Nobody wants to subscribe and follow somebody who is pumping out a lot of content for a game and just realize they suddenly stop and don't talk about it anymore, essentially ghosting my audience. So today I want to come clean, be completely honest with you guys what is going through my mind with this game, and if you follow me in my live streams and my other content, you likely already know what I'm going to talk about, right? So let's just get started. When it comes to Tower of Fantasy, I have nothing against the game and how it's set up. What the problem has become is that I only have so many hours in a day, and you guys likely understand this as well. Free time doesn't come often for most people. You can't just sit home, play video games all day, every day, and that's your life, right? That's the dream. Everybody wants that, but I just can't. And for people who play Tower of Fantasy consistently, or at least have kept up with the game since the beginning for a month, maybe 2 months, you guys will quickly realize that Tower of Fantasy is a game that really demands your attention. There's a ton of things you have to go through. Now let's just take a look, right? We got all the weekly stuff. If you guys want to go pretty hardcore, come in, do all this, make sure every weekend you hit that 900 points. And then you have your dailies. You can also go farm your world exploration and stuff. Ruins, it has not really been a problem. Sign-ins, meets kitchens, just keep you logging in the game throughout the day, not just once coming on, do your thing. No, it's throughout the day. Or you can log in all the way at the end and collect all your Mia's Kitchen there. And that means basically you have to allocate all the time towards the end of the day, which then becomes very difficult to make that happen every single day. And of course, you got your joint op to grind, you got your dimension trials to farm EXP, you got interstellar exploration to farm your weapon ascension stuff every single day, Omnium Beacon, whatnot. Then we come to the Bygone Phantasm, that's the weekly stuff, the Frontier Clash, the Void Rift, the Wormholes. This is a ton of stuff for you to do in this game, and that's the thing, right? A lot of you guys are like, then what's wrong, Walrus? Isn't that amazing? It's the game that offers you so many different experiences to utilize your characters. That's actually essentially what people in Genshin have been asking for. Like, yo, why can't we have all these different game modes that can utilize the characters that we wail for, grinded for, leveled up, and learn combos for? Great point. That's all I gotta say right now. Great point. And here's the thing, right? It goes back to the other thing that I was mentioning, is time. There's just not enough time in a day to consistently stay at the top level the whole time. Now, you guys might be wondering, well, why at the top level? Why be so competitive? Well, the thing is, when I first started this game, I was fortunate enough to be accepted into a guild that on our server is the best guild, and checking in right now, they are still the top guild. And when it comes to a top guild, there are requirements to stay consistent. If you want to be the best, you have to put in efforts, or at least swipe on the level of the best. Now, it's fortunate that I'm still in the guild, even though my activity has not been as active. Now, the fact that I'm still in the guild should tell you guys that I am still playing the game. I am trying to keep up with the game. Although I'm not doing the bare minimum, I'm doing significantly less. I just cannot put in that many hours. When the game first came out, I forced myself to allocate a lot of hours. I would wake up, hop in Discord with the buddies and start talking, chatting, and then pump out content. And in the evening time, I would come home, I would get back on the game, I would pump out content, I would make videos, I would experiment with stuff, I would talk with other people. But as the time has gone on, people have talked less and less, communities started to break apart, and I think this is the beauty of MMOs, right? It's the community, being able to talk and experience shared world. That's the good part. But as that went away, the drive to really play and grind the game has significantly died down. Once you get into the habit, once you get into the realization of, well, this is what I'm going to be doing likely for the next week, month, 2 months, 6 months, maybe a year, you start to realize, well, like how important is it really to be that devoted and dedicated to the game and the contents of the game? Is there a reason why I'm grinding this? Or is it just for the sake of grinding? Why should I be keeping up? Is it just for the sake of competition, EPing, or whatever you guys want to call it? So fast forward to now. The reason that I haven't really been pumping out many videos is because Tower Fantasy isn't really a game that requires that many videos, guides. I mean, like, sure, you can, but for the most part, you really have very few limited options for characters and builds. It's really just combos, sequences, and whatever is meta. And as you guys may also know, I'm not the most meta driven person. I mean, I do enjoy the casual meta discussion, but I don't like to dig in, test the numbers, test the combos, because let's say if I only have an hour to 2 hours to play, I don't want to be spending all that time hitting a dummy, endlessly figuring out combo sequences. It's just not what I enjoy. Like, if I really wanted to know the answer, I'm much more somebody who would go and find that out through Reddit or watch other people talk about it, and then I'll come out and try maybe one or two, and then I'll move on. So I'm not the kind of person that can provide you guys that type of valued content, and that's why I don't try to force myself to do something that I'm not comfortable with. Although you guys see I still play the game, I don't interact with every single bit of content. I don't make sure I hit every single daily, weekly task and grind out everything. I did it for the first 2 months, and you can say I burned out, but this game's value for me is really, from time to time, I just want to escape from some of the other games' casual content to come to a more hardcore and combat driven gameplay. Just using Genshin as an example, once I beat the Spiral Abyss in Genshin, like, there's very little combat driven content that can keep me entertained and my blood rushing. Coming into Tower Fantasy, I'm able to get some of that out of the system. So the reason why I even pulled Lin, the reason why you guys see that I've even one-starred Lin, is at the very least is when I come over here wanting to play something cool, flashy, I have a very solid character to play around with. The goal for me in Tower Fantasy is no longer to chase some sort of ranking or tier list, but rather just to make sure I have the characters set up that I want to play. This is a very expensive game if you want to build every single meta character. I mean, like, you're gonna be dropping thousands of dollars every now and then to make sure you keep up with the most meta stuff, with the most optimal and the highest damage output builds. I'll be honest with you guys, if you were to ask me months ago when Tower Fantasy first came out, like, am I gonna 6-star Lin? I would have said yes. And up until a month or two ago, maybe I would have 6-starred Lin. But nowadays, since I don't interact with the game as much, and it's really only like an escape from my other games, I find it difficult to justify for me to go for 6-star characters in this game. Am I taking a jab at the game for not releasing Lin earlier so they could have like siphoned 1,000 maybe more dollars from me? Yeah, maybe. But at the same time, I was also really thankful that they decided to delay this character for so damn long, because honestly, she's cool and all, but I can't imagine myself grinding Tower of Fantasy for like an hour or more every single day. It's just something that I feel like I cannot devote that much time to, especially with all the other games I'm playing. I'm playing Pokemon right now, I'm playing Genshin, I'm playing Nika. Well, it's Genshin. I can't really say I play Genshin. Genshin plays me more than I play that game. But yeah, I play League of Legends, and I watch anime, and sometimes I watch a TV show, get on some Netflix going. It's just too much things going on, and Tower of Fantasy isn't really a game you can get your eyes off the monitor and just look at something else while this thing just kind of goes. Really, at the end of the day, it's a game that not only demands your time, but almost demands your full attention while doing it as well. So, hey, that is just not something that I'm looking for at this moment in time. Although I can say I'm going to keep playing the game, but it's not going to be as hardcore. And the content that people want from this game right now is not the type of content that I can produce at a high quality. I can give simple tips, I can give beginner tips, I can talk about lore, I can talk about a general discussion and direction of the game, but at the end of the day, people don't want to hear about that, at least for Tower Fantasy, so I'm not going to force that down people's throats. And with that said, thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you for being so patient with me for people who have subscribed for Tower Fantasy. Fantasy. Going forward, I am looking forward to cover other games, although if those games are similar to Tower Fantasy and very, very demanding when it comes to time and investments, I don't know if I'm going to be able to 100% carry through. Genshin, I'm able to do because it literally takes 10 minutes a day. Anybody can give 10 minutes a day unless you absolutely hate the game, right? Tower Fantasy is just a little too grindy for me. So let me know down in the comments below if you still play Tower Fantasy, if you are thinking about playing Tower Fantasy, have you dropped Tower Fantasy, and why? And until the next one, I urge y'all to stay safe and peace. Bye.